Good morning, my Real News Midday TV family. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning, and I'm wishing for everyone a wonderful and a productive day. And in the news this morning for March 18, 2024, man is charged with a Christmas Day murder. A 22-year-old man from St. Catherine has been charged with murder following the killing of a 28-year-old man on Christmas Day last year. He is Kimani Jackson, otherwise called Manny, an electrician of Reedspen in Portmore. The incident reportedly took place in Jackson's community. He was charged with the murder of 28-year-old Romario Meade, a driver of Crystalline Old Breton in the parish. Jackson was also charged with a conspiracy to murder, using a firearm to commit a scheduled offense, being part of or participating in a criminal organization, possession of a prohibited firearm, and the possession of prohibited ammunition. Reports from the Portmore police are that about 2:50 a.m., Jackson was in the company of a group of men who approached Meade when an argument developed between them. It is alleged that one of the men pulled a firearm and opened gunfire, killing Meade before escaping in the area. An investigation was launched and Jackson was arrested. He was subsequently charged after he underwent an interview session in the presence of his attorney. The other gunmen are currently being sought by the police. Area 1 MID charged two men with a 2023 double murder. Detectives assigned to the Area 1 Major Investigations Division have charged the two men with a double murder committed in Cornwall Hartford District, Westmoreland on July 14, 2023. Charged with murder, possession of a prohibited weapon, and using a firearm to commit a felony are 24-year-old Chevon Vernon and the 26-year-old Nico Finlay, both laborers of Hertford District in the parish. Dead are 22-year-old Emron Hanson, a laborer of 3 Miles River, and the 38-year-old Brian Tullo, also a laborer of Bath District, both in Westmoreland. Reports are that about 8:30 p.m., Hanson and Tullo were at a house when they were allegedly pounced upon by Vernon and Finlay, who opened gunfire at them. The police were alerted, and on their arrival, the two men were seen with gunshot wounds. They were taken to hospital, where they were pronounced dead. Following an investigation into the matter, Vernon was arrested after attending the Westmoreland Circuit Court last Thursday. He was later charged after he was positively pointed out as one of the men who shot and killed Hanson and Tullo. Finlay was previously charged on October 11, 2023. Laborer charged with a 2023 murder. The St. James police have charged a 24-year-old laborer with murder following the death of a man in Mount Pleasant District, Westmoreland on June 8, 2023. He is Trevon MacDonald, a laborer of Nanny Avenue, Rose Heights in the parish. Dead is 40-year-old Damien Henry, otherwise called Frass, a farmer of Content District, Westmoreland. Reports are that about 10:15 a.m., Henry was standing along the Mount Pleasant Main Road, talking to friends when a Toyota Axia motorcar drove up, and MacDonald allegedly alighted from the front passenger seat, armed with a firearm, and opened gunfire at Henry, hitting him multiple times. MacDonald then reportedly escaped in the vehicle. A report was made to the police, and Henry was taken to the hospital, where he was pronounced dead. Following an investigation into the matter, MacDonald was arrested. He was charged on Saturday after he underwent a question-and-answer session in the presence of his attorney. His court date has not been finalized. Trelawney man gets 20 years for offenses relative to 2-year-old boy's killing. Anthony Finlay, who pleaded guilty earlier this month to fatally shooting 2-year-old Adrian Campbell as the child sat inside a car in Mackhill District in Clarkstown, Trelawney last year, was sentenced to 16 years in prison for the murder last week. Finlay, otherwise called the Boy Blue of Mackhill, is a cousin of little Adrian's stepfather. He was sentenced by High Court Judge Justice Bertram Morrison in the Trelawney Circuit Court. In addition to the 16 years for murder, Finlay was sentenced to 20 years in prison for making use of a firearm to commit a felony and 15 years for shooting with intent. The sentences are to run concurrently, meaning that he will serve the highest of the 3 sentences, which is 20 years. The judge, however, stipulated that Finlay should be eligible for parole consideration after serving a minimum of 10 years in prison. Finlay reportedly told the police investigators when he was arrested shortly after the March 12, 2023 incident that little Adrian was not the intended target of the shooting. At the sentencing hearing, the judge took into account Finlay's age and that he was 20 years old at the time the offenses were committed. The age of little Adrian and the use of a firearm to commit the offenses were also factored into determining the appropriate sentences given the circumstances of the case. It was reported that about 7:50 p.m. on Sunday, March 12, 2023, little Adrian was taken by his mother and stepfather to purchase ice cream at a nearby shop in Mac Hill. While they sat in a vehicle, they were approached by Finlay, with whom Adrian's stepfather reportedly had a dispute some days before. Finlay reportedly brandished a handgun and fired a shot inside the vehicle, which was then speedily driven away. Little Adrian's stepfather drove to an area in close proximity and discovered that his stepson, who was sitting in the back seat of the car, had been shot. Adrian was rushed to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. Law enforcers acting on intelligence later arrested Finlay in Duncan's Trelawney. He was subsequently charged. Discussions between Jamaica and the U.S. State Department ongoing to have Level 3 advisory rescinded. As the Jamaican government intensifies its efforts to have the United States Department of State either rescind or roll back the Level 3 advisory placed against the country, high-level meetings have been taking place in Washington to reach an agreement on the issue. According to information reaching the news, Jamaica's ambassador to the United States, Audrey Marks, has led a delegation that is having discussions with the State Department. The news understands that the discussions are being held with both the State Department's Consular Bureau, which issued the advisory, and the Western Hemisphere Bureau, which oversees countries like Jamaica. Marks confirmed the meetings, telling the news that the talks have been productive and informative. I am very pleased that the talks with both bureaus have been going well. They have been very productive and informative. They have asked for certain information which the government of Jamaica will be providing, she said. The ambassador said she could not go into details about the discussions, but pointed out that progress was being made on the issue. During the talks, Jamaica requested a review of the Level 3 advisory. A U.S. official told the news that on the political side of the State Department, Jamaica's position is being viewed favorably. The Level 3 travel advisory, warning U.S. visitors to reconsider traveling to Jamaica, paints a picture of Jamaica as a country where violent crimes are rampant, sexual assault of tourists occur frequently, and the country's health care infrastructure leaves much to be desired. Since the Level 3 advisory was imposed, some hotels have said that they have seen some cancellations, mainly in group bookings. But despite the advisory, Tourism Minister Ed Bartlett has reported that Jamaica has seen a 1 million visitor increase to the island in the first 2 months of this year. He also pointed out that the industry still grew by some 8% when compared with the same period last year. We have seen some cancellations because of the advisory, but these are mainly groups and government-related travelers, he said. Bartlett acknowledged that had the travel advisory not been in place, the tourism growth would have been higher than the 8%. There has been skittishness in the market, but no major cancellations, he said. He said the advisory has raised the questions for larger groups considering traveling to the island, and it has also affected insurance. However, he pointed out that the government is monitoring the situation, as most of the groups that have expressed a reluctance to travel to Jamaica are mainly government-related groups. Meanwhile, the news understands that some American hotel owners in Jamaica have also written to the State Department asking for a rescinding of the travel advisory. Jamaicans in the diaspora have also reached out to their elected U.S. representatives, requesting that they contact the State Department about having the Level 3 advisory rescinded. In some circles, the belief is that the Level 3 advisory was a coordinated attack on Jamaica. It was noted that the advisory came out in January, and it was since then that some media houses in the United States started carrying the story and using identical phrasing in their reporting. The Jamaican government has maintained that there had been no spike in crime or deterioration in the country's health services when the advisory was issued. The news understands that during the high-level talks, it was pointed out that there appeared to be no reason for a Level 3 advisory against Jamaica. It was further pointed out that the way the advisory was issued suggested an unusual treatment of Jamaica. This idea is reinforced by the fact that the country profile is not usually placed on the front page, as was done in this instance with Jamaica. It is strange that a Level 3 advisory was placed on the homepage, said one government official. He also noted that the U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin was in Jamaica on vacation over the holiday season late last year. If the situation is as they are saying, why would the Defense Secretary choose to spend his holidays in Jamaica? The official questioned.